work that's need to be done on water and sewer alone. So my focus will be water and sewer, and the roads, of course. Thinking about asset management, all of the assets that Moosonee has needs to be maintained, and at some point need to be replaced. And that includes the bridges and the roads, and that infrastructure is crumbling as well. The Atom Road Bridge needs some significant work on it, and it's just planning for long term. And I believe that some of the groundwork, the framework has been established, and I'm running to hopefully continue that process. I know it's the residents have found it very challenging, but there is, you probably have noticed that in the last number of years that Moosonee has shedded some of the things that we used to do. And a number of the things that we...
Well, we'll see you later.
One of the things that, or at least several of the things that Moosonee has shedded over the years is things like Tidewater Park. Now again, one of the highest responsibilities I think of the council is to think about fiscal responsibility. There's only one taxpayer, and there's only so much money. So managing the Tidewater Park, constructing the ice road to Moose Factory, the Family Resource Center, were all things that took great deliberation, and it was decided that we could no longer operate those things with the funds that we had. So I think we're at a manageable level now. We even thought about unloading the airport, but through some advice from the staff of the ministry and the manager at the airport, along with our CAO, felt that we could, in fact, run that airport efficiently and be able to keep that going. And infrastructure out there is really important. That's a transportation, which I think is really important to Moosonee. Transportation, because of our positioning and where we're situated. Transportation, we have the railway, we have the airport, ocean port for barge traffic. So my view is for the long-term growth and stability of Moosonee is focus on infrastructure. If you have good infrastructure, think about a hospital coming someday. We absolutely must have infrastructure to be able to support that. If we have Payacatano builds another facility, we must have infrastructure to support those things. So that's my focus, and that'll be my commitment over the next 4 years. Thank you.
Lucille Ussel, formerly a Wabano. I've lived here all my life except for schooling, and I've lived in Toronto probably about 5 years, and I moved back here. It's my hometown. I love Moosonee. Oh, as I was growing up, I've seen all the changes that have happened in Moosonee, and lately I've noticed quite a few steps backwards. That's the only way I could say it. I've noticed our roads getting worse, it seems. Our water pipes and everything. Like, I don't know if that's just from age or whatever, like everybody else ages. But I think I'm running for council only because, like, I need to, in order for me to run for council, I need to get in there to see how and why things are running the way they are. I'm a person that likes to get to the center of what's wrong. And in order to fix it, we need to figure out why is it started this way, or why are we heading in the direction that we are going. So I believe as a council member, my duties are to actually support the mayor and make sure that he's doing his job as mayor, steer him in the right direction, give him advice, and because his job is going to be harder than ours. And he needs the support too, he or she. I don't know if there's a woman who may be running for mayor, but I believe that there's a lot of things in our community now that there's not much that we used to have in our community that we had before. We don't have curling, we don't have hockey, well, we have hockey, but we don't have curling anymore. And that used to be a big thing here. And now nobody has any kind of recreation hardly. And even in the summertime, our kids can't even play baseball or soccer. And it's because, like I was told, it was because of insurance. Like, I don't understand that. So there's a lot of things that I really think that the new council has to start looking into and start cleaning it up. So vote for me and I will advocate for you.
Hi, can everyone hear me? Oh, come on, really? I'm the loudest, one of the loudest guys in town. You can't hear me. Oh, I didn't want to use this. Okay, my name is Buck Miller. I am not from Moosonee at all. I've lived here for 4 years. I'm from Abitibi Canyon. That's where I was born in Smooth Rock Falls and lived in Abitibi Canyon. That was my first hometown. Then I moved to Kapuskasing and blah, blah, blah. I've been all over the north, and then I moved down south. I've lived all over the world, in short. I've lived in Europe, America, numerous places in Canada. And I think that's an advantage that I have that some people don't. You don't need to be here and potentially be a part of the problem. Potentially, just saying potentially, not saying anyone here was. I've got a perspective that some people don't. I've traveled the world. I've seen a lot of things. I'm also a socialist deep down. There's not a dollar I see that I don't want to spend on people in public. I think our social services here suck. And one of the #1 reasons why I'm running as a councillor is because I'm really just a pissed off taxpayer. I've been to the town office and felt like a dog chasing my own tail numerous times. My water froze twice and I personally had to get it dug and do it myself. Take a day off work and do it myself. Dig it up and literally put the pieces on. It was me doing it. It sucks, and I don't want anyone to ever have to do that, especially with the tax rates we pay. So, you know, vote for me. I'm a very motivated, extremely motivated young man with new perspective. And I have also, we all talk about recreation, right? No recreation is true, it sucks. I am currently, with myself and Clint Hamilton, are starting Moosonee's first cycling club. It's going to be a real cycling club with insurance, and it'll be affordable to the public. I've also spent 2 years as Vice President of the Board of Directors at James Bay Association for Community Living. 3.5 years on the fire department as a firefighter, and 1 year of that on the association. So I've spent a bit of time giving back to the community, and I'm not done. I'd like to do more, so thank you.
Can you hear me? I'm Linda Taylor. I'm not from Moosonee either, and I don't think you should hold that against me. I'm a full-time employee at Waha. I'm a psychiatric nurse clinician with a background in addictions. I think I understand a lot of the problems that are occurring around here. I've lived in northern communities my whole life, whether it's northern BC, Thunder Bay, which I spent the majority of my working years at, and Sault Ste. Marie and now Moosonee, and I love it here. and I see lots of the problems. So I'm not going to reiterate what everyone else said. I think we all understand what the issues are, problems with roads and muck and potholes and water and recreation and stuff like that. One of the things that I do see, though, is that there's a lack of communication. There's a lack of openness with the council presently. I think that a few of you might have seen the posting by the Ombudsman where people aren't able to go to the council meetings because they're not posted promptly. People aren't given an opportunity to know when they're being held. Things are being held in camera when they shouldn't be. Those kinds of things bother me. Communication is really important. We need forums to know what's going on. I have worked on boards before in all the various communities. I've been a manager in the past, and I've had to seek new funding. I can tell you that I was able to get $180,000 for one of my programs. It's not that hard if we really try. You have to know what to do. You have to know how to run a budget, which is the same thing as running a town, which is the same thing as running your household. I can do those things. And so I promise to be at the council meetings. I promise to be there if you need to pick up the phone and call me because you have issues, and that you should be able to do that. I promise to be there to listen and to respond to you and to make sure that there's more openness on the council moving forward if you vote for me. So again, my name is Linda Taylor. Thank you.
Good day, my name is John Auger. I'm a retired homeowner employee, which I worked for 30-some years. And that's about all I can say. I haven't got the qualification of the other ones. But anyways, my platform mainly would be to help council kind of find their way to the right way, because I'm sick and tired of the way it's going now. I mean, I'm spending half my truck doing half a mile an hour, and I'm still hitting the roof. So it's time to have some change. So I'm very simple, and thank you very much. And I hope somebody votes for me.
I guess that's all the councillors we have this evening. And I just want to say thank you. And would there be any questions from the floor at this time to the councillors? Don't hesitate. Any questions? Go right ahead.
Linda Taylor. I know you've had experiences in other small communities. You've been here how long so far?
I got here in January.
All right. Now, will you be here longer? How much longer?
Well, I plan on being here for a long time, regardless if I get elected or not. I wouldn't have put my name forward if I hadn't planned on it. So I plan on being here at least another 5 years, at least. So.
Thank you.
Someone had their hand back up there. Go ahead, please.
Hi, I'm Robino. Lived in Moosonee here all my life also. And looking around, I don't see any natives up there. Half the population of town here is native. And listening to your platforms, I haven't heard anything about how you're going to help that population. You're looking at an unused resource when you take that approach. There's a $1 billion industry that we're not taking advantage of in terms of tourism. And we've got all the native people in town here that are not doing anything. And they want to be part of this community so much, but lack of you don't see participation here. But a lot of jobs that we do hold, you're servicing our population. We got to be considered, and we got to be part of this community also. And I'd just like to know how we can utilize that population, especially the youth who are just up and coming and want to be a productive part of the community also. And I'm working right now with a mental health project. A lot of our mental health is not completely chemical stuff where you sit inside a therapist's office. There's got to be
Thank you, and I'm sure you'll have an opportunity to speak with the councillors when they're elected. Some of the points you make are very interesting. Tourism has dropped tremendously. We don't see too many visitors to our community, and that's a sad, sad thing, both financially and otherwise. Any other questions?
My name is Owen Diesel, and I've been...
It was actually built, but it was built certainly more than 10 years ago. It was probably built closer to 15 years ago, and if somebody wants to help me with that one, that's okay. But it had been operating for 5 years or more and had not been commissioned yet. And so we asked the question at the council, why isn't this water plant commissioned or running the way it should be? And because it's a new water plant. And we got the answer was, the final thing, the last thing we have to do is fire up the fire pump. Oh, what's a fire pump? It's a high-powered pump to add extra water pressure in the event of a significant fire, and the fire department needed added fire suppression ability. Well, let's do it. And the answer I got was, all the water mains are going to break, we're going to have too many break. Well, okay, let's plan a day, let's get enough supplies to prepare for those water main breaks, and let's get the fire pump going. So that was partly started to tell me that, okay, we got issues with our infrastructure, because nobody wanted to fire up this fire pump at the water plant, and because they were too worried about the water main breaks. Well, they did it anyway. We said do it, and they did actually fire up that fire pump, and there were several water main breaks. But the guys were prepared. They went up there, fixed them, and in a day, everything was done, completed in a day. But it started to. It's a learning process for myself as well. It started to tell me water pressure is low. The fire pump goes off and it breaks a lot of pipes. So in the early stages, again, as I said earlier, the magnitude of the problem is so big, and don't forget, we're not a political party. We're a group of people at council talking about it, knowing that something has to be done, but not really knowing how to go about it. And again, staff is very important. Throughout some of those years, we were without a CAO, a manager for the town. In recent years, learning about some of these things, we've started to figure some things out, and we now have a roadmap. So yeah, we kind of watched a little bit, we patched up here and there. Before I came on council, there was a significant road project, and that was, forgive me if I'm a little off, about 12 years ago, where we lifted the roads about 8 inches or so, 8 inches or 10 inches. But there's a whole process for that. The roads wear down. They wear down. They're gravel roads, so with water and dust, they wear down. They go into the lift station, the manholes. So that in itself has told me that about every 10 years or so, we have to lift the roads by about 8 or 10 inches. So that, when we talk about asset management, that was another thing. Now this wasn't something that we thought about, where we figured out asset management plan. This was something that the province instructed every municipality to formulate, to put a plan together, and to submit it. And part of the asset management is every asset that the town has, including roads, bridges, right down to lawnmowers and water pumps, has to be listed, and a plan has to be put in place for the maintenance of that equipment and the replacement of that equipment. So replacing bridges and roads, so that's a big undertaking. Well, a few years to get that asset management plan in place, and it was due. We met the target deadline the end of 2013, I believe, to have that plan in place. So when I say that there's some foundational work done, that's what I'm talking about. We've got some plans in place. We've got some. We know what we have to do. It's going to take some time to do it. But in some ways, yeah, we've kind of watched some of it continue to crumble, but it's been crumbling for a lot of years. But it's not like nobody's been doing anything about it. We're just trying to figure out how to go about doing it in a systematic way, because it's going to take a long time to get that up to snuff. Thanks, Odin, for your question.
The asset management, one of the things why, like you say, it takes so long. Why is it taking so long because like Bob has mentioned, he's running on his third term now, completing his third term. When we first started in 2011, when the new council came on board, one of the first things that we did is we wanted to put a business case together with the province and stick with that same business case right from year 1 to year 4. We kept pounding it, and telling them we need more operational dollars to get these things done. So we were doing that every January at the Good Roads Conference, and Wayne and former councillors that ran before would know that. That's where the money starts, that's where you try to go after the money. So, right from year 1, we started getting money. You know, it was small, 95,000. Following year, 350,000. Following year, 510,000. Another 510,000. But one of the things the province and the powers to be in Ontario, and it's kind of going backwards because, like the old cliche, the cart before the horse. This is exactly what happened. We had to go backwards because we had to do asset management, capital planning, the service delivery review. We'll give you this money under the condition you do these. Now, those should have been done a long time ago, but the province did not offer any of those plans or monies to do those plans way back. We were one of the first municipalities to jump on the bandwagon for the asset management planning. And, you know, other municipalities will be telling us, well, how did you guys get money for that? You know, like in terms of what we got today. We have the manhole project, 7 to 7 have to be replaced based on a report, which we acted on the present council to get that rectified. Lift stations had to be replaced. We did them. So we're steadily picking at that $15 million deficiency that's in the town. The next one we're working on now at the current time, and hopefully the new council, whoever comes on board, will have the privilege and honor of being approved in January. But one of the problems is everything comes so late. By the time we get money rolled in from the government, either federal or provincial, it's August. Then winter's approaching. Then you gotta wait until the following year to actually implement the project. So this is as a northern community, this is one of the problems we face here, is that we try to get things done. And right now the manhole project is just about being completed. And just to give you an example where you live at the base, those pipes and all of the ones that have been here for decades in the community will tell you that that's the oldest pipes in the community, built in the 1960s when the military moved in. So we are now applying for that grant for that portion of the pipes to be replaced at the base, because it is the oldest and it is the one that's going to be prone to problems in the coming year. And we have that opportunity with what we're applying for now. But we won't know until January or February if we're successful. And along with that, one of the hard things is you have to come up lot of funding, you have to come up with 33% of your own money. Now, when you're stuck with $1.1 million every year since 1995, how are you supposed to implement these rising costs of construction, materials, standard of living, cost of getting it in? Those things add up. But meanwhile, operational dollars has never moved, has never been increased. So that's one of the things that we try every year. Business case, we need more funding to fix the road. Someone asked me, well, how come you just put a Band-Aid on a pipe? Why don't you replace it? Thank you, Paul, for putting this on. I think it was, I had the RSVP to Paul anyway, but thank you. I'd like to thank everybody for being here. About me, I guess I've been here all my life, born in Moose Factory, raised in Moosonee. I left for 5 years. I spent 5 years with artillery in Petawawa and traveled probably 3.5 years of that. Then came back home, and I've been here ever since. Worked with Mushkego Travel Council, worked with the hospital, worked with friendship centers, worked with schools. I was a supply teacher when I first came back from Petawawa. I was also a short order cook. Why I'm running again? I believe that for me, there's a lot of issues with the roads and water and sewer, and we're not finished yet. There's a lot of work that needs to be done. Yes, there's roads. I've seen how, like Bob said, you have to bring them up 8 to 10 inches every 8 to 10 years. And right now, when you look at Bay Road, which is one of the busiest roads because of the school and everything like that, you can just tell by physically driving on it that the shoulders are a lot higher than the road itself, which is why it gets to a point after it rains so many days, to a point where it is. And when you have to dig up holes, there's not enough gravel to bring it back up to the level where it was before you dug it up. So yes, roads is in bad state. Water infrastructure is in bad state, but we are plugging away at the $15.5 million of deficiencies that are there. We're still far away, but we are picking at it. I know one of the things that, and there's more work to be done. Yes, we would like to have paved roads. And then to buy gravel as well, like when we have to build what's underneath the roads before we can look at the long-term goal is to have paved roads. And I also agree with, the tax rates. We can't have the government telling us keep plugging away and raising it through your tax rates. That's not the way to go, because people are going to leave. People are going to sell their homes. We need to have them accountable, and by providing additional resources to operate this community. Give you an example. 1975, the Air Force moved out of here. Community in Moosonee took over the responsibility of the Air Force base. Started from the gate in the whole area. No additional funds was ever given by the province to maintain that area or operate that area. It came from the existing budget that the town currently has. So we keep pushing the government on a business case, and we stuck with it to keep asking for additional funds, because we have the airport, the base that was not part of the operating budget. We have Coy Road from Pissou, where Wendell lives, Wendell Clark, and all the way down to Coy Road. Originally, that was a road built to try to link Concord, done by the Ministry of Northern Development Mines, given to the town. Had no additional revenue to operate, to plow it, to, you know, either in the wintertime or in the summer. And where it ends, where you see it at the end of the line past the hydro station, where it just becomes a clear-cut area, that's where the ministry abandoned their project. Never mind, we're not going to build a road. But that was the start of a road, and now the town has to be responsible for maintaining that road when there's no additional funds. And we keep, and that's what I did with the support of council, we kept pushing that business case. We need additional dollars. Yes, they have given us money to offset deficits from prior years. We were, you know, this is you know, keep quiet for a while, you know, go away, we'll give you 124,000, help you with your deficit, or whatever. And they keep telling us, don't talk about the business case again. And I said, but to me, it's not a dead issue. It's an issue that has to stay in the forefront. And as a mayor that's been here, finishing up the term, we kept pushing it, and we'll still push it, you know, like next election, or next go-round. Yes, public docks. I know a lot of people have opposed, and, you know, I heard all what is said. And in the end, nobody wants the facilities. So Moosonee now has an opportunity to retain the docks at a cost to the province. The province is now giving us $120,000 as an initial cost to upgrade the docks or the facilities that involve the docks. So, but with Moose Cree, the reason why they said, no, we're not taking it instead, is because they found out that it's going to cost $354,000 to bring it up to standard. And which is why Moosonee stuck to their guns and said, we had no money for it. And we said, no. And in the end, the province said, we don't want it. Moose Cree said, we don't want it. So Moosonee said, okay, we'll take it. You give us the money, but we still need to go negotiate an annual funding arrangement with the province to continue the upgrades that are required for the docks. So we are working on it. So new council who comes on board, hopefully that drive to retain it and push and negotiate for that dollars to be continued on an annual basis will happen. And part of the reason why I continue pushing in the same way is I've just been around for a long time in politics. In terms of lobbying, I took lobbying training, you know, in terms of knowing how to tap these, get these people government officials to talk, and how to, you know, we took a tough stance on the dock, and I'm glad we did, as much as people in the community of Moosonee factory hated for what we were doing, but we took a stance, and now we are going to get dollars for it. And hopefully those dollars. Well, we got $120,000 out of it, so. Yeah, I agree. And liability is what the big issue was for municipal affairs. They continue to this day to disagree with our decision to keep the docks because they keep telling us you're not in the business of running public docks. That's what they keep saying. And Wayne will know, or whoever gets on, whichever county, they will tell you that. They will tell you you're not in the business of a public dock. But because we stuck to our guns and we are going to, you know, take a stance on keeping the public docks. As long as the money is coming, we will keep the docks. But anyways, I don't want to take too much of everybody's time. Thank you.
Okay. I think what we'll do is we'll introduce the rest of the mayors and who are running for mayor, I should say, and then we'll start the questioning again. Janice?
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me okay? Thank you so much for coming out. It's wonderful to see a big crowd like this. My name's Janice Altus, and I am running for the position of mayor. Rick, I am a very proud First Nations person, originally from Sault Ste. Marie. I relocated here 3 years ago, and I work at the Winnebago Area Health Authority. Someone told me when I was coming up here, they said, you will love it or you will hate it. And I fell in love with it instantly. So much so that my husband joined me 3 months later, my son 6 months later. I'm afraid to bring the rest of the kids up to visit. But aside from that, it is a wonderful place. I see so many opportunities. I'm not going to carry on about road conditions, whatnot. I can't promise you something I don't know enough about. I can promise you that I will look into it. I will see what I can do for you. But the one thing I will promise you is openness and transparency. I look at the website for the town of Moosonee. It's very outdated. I don't believe that any of the mission statement and goals are reflective of the community today. A strategic plan that was developed in June of 2011, and my God, 2014, you're finally first starting to hear about what's going on in the town of Moosonee. That's shameful. That should be on the website for everybody to read all the time, find out what's going on. Openness, transparency. The time to talk to the community is not when you're ready to run for council again. It should be an ongoing, never-ending communication that takes place between the town council and the people of the community, and that I will promise you. So thank you for coming out.
James?
Good evening. My name is James Smoke, and you can call me Jim. That's what my friends call me, and you're all my friends. And I got the mic a little bit better. It's great to see everybody out here tonight. My main focus in running for the mayor's position is change. I'd really like to see a change. I'd like to see the town run like a proper municipality should run in the province of Ontario. And we have a lot of work to do to get that to happen. So that's my main goal. And there's no use talking about the roads and all this other stuff. We all know the problems with the roads, and that our goal is to correct that problem. And I want to work for you to correct that problem. So that's basically how I feel. You are the bosses, and we are the employers, or we are the workers. We do the work for the bosses. I'll turn it over to you.
Good evening, everyone. It's so nice to see everybody out here. And when I was approached by the public to run for mayor, one of the things I had asked for was whether we could have a meet a candidate tonight. I think it's very, very important that you all meet us, hear our platforms. I'll give you a little bit about my background. I was basically raised in, grew up around the Moosonee area for the last 57 years. I raised two daughters here. They went out to further their education, and actually one's living in Vancouver and the other is flying on contract for the United Nations over in Afghanistan and Pakistan. I own property here, and I am very, very disappointed in the way the town is going. This is my home. I was so disappointed that I was going to actually sell and leave the town. I've been a mayor for 7 years prior to this council, and I was also councillor for 6 years before that. I've sat on many, many different boards. I also volunteer at all the schools here for taking kids out for outdoor education, as well as I do crafts and that. I started up the junior curling many, many years ago with grades from the public school. I also Ducks Unlimited chairman and vice chairman. I started that up, I think, about 28 years ago, I believe it's now, but 27, 28 years ago. That was never brought to Moosonee before, nobody knew what it was. The reason I'm running is I want to see changes, I want to see improvements. And if we all leave Moosonee, which I was even thinking of doing, because there was 13 houses at one time on sale here with taxpayers, and I'm saying, why do they want to leave? And then many of the local residents come to see me and said, can you run? We'd like to see changes here. And I said, no, I'm not getting into that again, you know. But anyways, I decided to put my name in. Now, on my platform for running, there are 5 major things I want to see. All right? And, I want to see more recreation for our youth, more programs for our youth. We have absolutely nothing. I come to the college yesterday to meet with some of the students here, and some of the questions were, why don't we have outdoor rinks? Why don't we have basketball courts? I said, we used to have them, we don't have them anymore. All right, I told them I'd look into that and see what could be done if I got elected. Public docks. Why did we give up the public docks? The convenience for ourselves, for our customers and people from Moose Factory. For what it cost to put them in and take them out, and I know from being mayor, why did we give those things up? I'll be working to try to work with Moose Creek and to look into if it's possible to get them back. I know it's going to cost us a lot of money now because they've been sold. Roads. Yes, the roads are in bad shape. We need a lift of gravel on it, as everybody has said here. We are going to have to go after the government and ask them to fund us for it. And one of the best ways we could do that is if all of you got together and got us a petition. Whoever gets in as council, mayor and council, if we have a petition to go down when we go to the Ontario Good Roads, it's really, you know, here's 2,000 signatures saying that we need something done with our roads. That gives us ammunition. That's how we got the footbridge over by, or not vehicle bridge over by the fire hall. It was the same way. It was supposed to be a footbridge. But the late Mr. Tozer, Reverend Tozer, got a petition with 2,000 signatures on saying they don't want a footbridge. They want to have a vehicle bridge. Brought that to the council. I was a councillor at that time. We took that with us. What did we get? We got a vehicle bridge. So we need help from you people. Right? Another thing is bylaws. We have to have bylaws in this town and have bylaws enforced. Otherwise, this town is just going to run crazy. Bylaws are in there for a reason. Animal bylaws, for example. My dog, he's my pet, he goes on the street, he's not going to hurt anybody. Pet to me, but your little